Back in 2023, I challenged myself with my third Nuzlocke after winning my very first in Fire Red and this attempt by playing Pokemon Heartgold. Back then, I didn't know that I accidentally chose a little bit more difficult version of Heartgold on my very real Nintendo DS, with the opposing trainers having different Pokemon with different items and different moves, catching me off guard. Anyhow, I beat the game all by myself. Okay, I beat the game by a little bit of cheating. Fine. I beat the game by resurrecting all my Pokemon and overleveling them, but you would have done the same, right? Look, Lance is a criminal and he had to be stopped. Anyway, with this victory being more than just debatable, I wanted to make things right and tackle Pokemon Heartgold once again. I will follow standard Nuzlocke rules, which you can see right here on the screen, because I'm too lazy to read all of this. This time, I chose the correct version and Cyndaquil once again as my starter. Fittingly to my redemption arc, oh, I never used redemption as a nickname by the way, I named it Vendetta. After beating up my rival, I caught Vengeance the Hoot and Comeback the Geodude. Oh, and this spider, which will never appear again. Like the pro Nuzlocke that I am, I even tried to avoid any optional battle. It worked at least most of the time though. Fight back the Rattata, revenge the Zubat, Retribution the Bellsprout, and Reprisal the Ghastly joined the team before we made a beeline for the first gym leader Faulkner. And to be honest, I killed two birds with one stone. Next one was Bugsy, and I took the way straight to shit, optional trainer. And I took the way straight to the gym leader himself in his crawling brutes. However, the early bird might catch the worm, but my stone smashed them all. Geodude is just too strong for the early game of Heartgold and Soul Silver, and it hadn't even evolved yet. There was no better place to hatch Togepi than the gym of the normal type specialist and cute Pokemon enthusiast Bianca. While her Miltank is usually a nightmare, I had prepared a plan until this random ass Blizzard killed my Bellsprout, lol. With a lot of smoke screens and embers, Vendetta took out Clefairy, which could honestly deal no damage in return. Miltank came out and firstly grooms my poor Quilava. The Rock had come back and tried to talk down the massive Cow via Magnitude while dodging critical hits. In the end, a Magnitude 10 was really appreciated and won me badge number 3. With Geodude on our team, nothing could go wrong. Shit. Catching a Magnemite and calling it Eye for an Eye, because, get it, it's just a big eye with metal around it, was the next step towards my Pokemon Championship ambitions, and Morty was in our way. But with him only using Pokemon on the same evolution line, Golbat was hungry and took a big bite out of Ghastly, Haunter and Gengar. For the remaining Haunter, Rancor the Stand made its debut to take a cursed nail so that Raticate could finish off the ghost. At this moment, I realized that I hadn't caught a Pokemon that could learn Surf yet. Luckily, we ran into the Taurus, and the first encounter on the sea was Tentacool, aka tit for tat. That's apparently a word for revenge, I guess. Bruno was the next person on my hit list. Lol, did I write Bruno? I mean Chuck. Chuck was the next person on my hit list. They do look familiar though. Salty the Hypno, don't ask me why, took out Primeape with 2 Psybeams before passing the baton to Revenge. In the meantime, he evolved into Crobat to hit Poliwrath with a couple of wing attacks. In order to not lose the bet again, I pivoted to Tentacruel, wasting Chuck's healing item. Still, Poliwrath is kinda dangerous, and it was Reprisal's turn to do its worst and curse the humanified Toad so that Animus the Gloom could steal the victory. At the lack of rage, I did not only catch even the Giraffic, which is the perfect nickname, but also this ill-looking Gyarados. Maybe Jasmine can give me some of her medicine later too. After Lance committing once again murder and me helping him to blow up crucial civil infrastructure, the price was right. He was the price to pay. I'ma break the price. His little seal had been bitten to death by rage. Tentacruel tanked the big blizzard Pellustrine before ending its life with 2 serves. The slightly bigger seal came out to play, which made me opt to pivot to Magneton. Despite paralysis and getting rid of Price's healing items, I had to switch back to Gyarados, for he has the ultimate weapon to defeat tanky Pokemon, Dragon Rage. Then it was time to challenge Jasmine in the gym. Oh, right, I didn't give her the medicine for Ampharos yet. Oh damn, I didn't even get the medicine yet, lol.
2 very boring minutes later.
Having cured Ampharos, which was definitely my highest priority, Vendetta started the fight by flame-wheeling Magnemite, but yielded when his big iron stake came out. Tit for Tat took out his surfboard and beat up Steelix with it, making Jasmine's final steel Pokemon come out. For some reason I was really scared by this Magnemite, in its way too strong Thunderbolts. So I switched around a bit and I saw an opening. No, not Taurus, they kinda sucked. Tentacruel returned and defeated this pesky little metal ball. I skipped over all of the Team Rocket's plot, but this fight against Executive Petrel in the Golden Road Radio Tower made me think, why does he have 6 Pokemons that can use Explosion? Did Team Rocket do 9/11? We added Make It Up, the Poliwag and Recrittle, the Swinner to the team, which will be great help for the next gym fight against Dragon-type trainer Claire without E. She led with a Gyarados, which was not ready for the newly evolved Magnezone and Thunderbolt attack. Dragonair, on the other hand, was threatening with Fire Blast, so that Make It Up tanked the attack before giving the floor to Tentacruel. And next on to Ill the Taurus. With a few thanks and swagger, the Flying Snake had been slayed, but Kingdra took revenge, lol, with a Hydro Pump to send Taurus packing. Animus the Bellozone was next, trying to drain as much HP as possible from Kingdra, who was also poisoned due to toxic spikes from Tentacruel. However, the switch to Magnezone had been a good idea, if it wasn't for an unexpected Hydro Pump crit by Kingdra. With its sniper ability, the damage was too much for Magnezone to tank. Rest in peace, King. Kingdra went down via poison, and Gyarados jumped at Dragonair to win us the last badge. Before going to Elite 4, I had to beat up 5 women like Chris Brown in Minecraft, I mean in Pokemon, which should be no problem with my strong red Gyarados, or rather Gyarados. Well, I might have underestimated the difficulty of those battles, and whoops, another one bites the dust. I did so well during the entire run, why choke now? Repayment made sure not to lose another teammate, and guaranteed a well-balanced team for the Elite 4, consisting of Typhlosion, Togekiss, Tentacruel, Manuswine, Poliwrath, and Slowking. Will was first, but the Psychic-type Pokemon stood no chance against the power of Cancel Typhlosion, and the nasty flooding avenged the Slowking. With a couple of Shadow Bolts, the first hurdle of Elite 4 was taken, with Koga the Poison X perk to follow. Again, Venenda burned his way through the leading Pokemon, as well as Fortress and Muk. Crobat was the job of repayment, giving it a headache via Psychic. Finally, Venenda also burned his ugly morph. Chuck, Bruno opened up with a Hitmontop, which is just not a good Pokemon, allowing Repayment to take advantage of its weak moveset. Hitmonchan has good coverage, which means the pivot via Minusvine led to Poliwrath, who can take it out with a lot of waterfalls and a portion of luck. Whew, that was close. Tentacruel made short work of Hitmonlee in Onix. Then, Slowking took care of Machamp. Make It Up was my lead against Karen's Umbreon, which was taken out via submission. Vileplume came out, being predestined to be burned by Vendetta. Houndoom switched in for Gengar, taking a Flamethrower by Vendetta as it boosts its own Fire-type attacks. I thought I can just outpower the Hellhound, but a power-up Flamethrower was too much and defeated my starter Pokemon, also making it the first feint of Elite 4. We had to move on, and Tentacruel had its own Vendetta to make it up for Typhlosion. The dog had been drowned, and is left only Gengar to defend its trainer. Oh no, Miror was also still there, oh. Okay, now, it was only Gengar between us and Champion. Knowing that the Gengar had Destiny Bound, I tried to throw out my fastest Pokemon to defeat it before it could take one of my mounts down with it. A Focus Blast against Heaven gave me hope, but in the next turn, harsh reality hit me. Bye bye, my sweet little bird. Those two unnecessary deaths stacked the cards against me. Not only did I have to face Lance's illegal Dragonites, but I also had to do it 4 vs 6. But if this is what I must do in order to stop Lance's killing spree and terror attacks, and more importantly, getting my redemption, I must do what I must do. For the starting Gyarados, Slowking yawned at it so that Poliwrath could safely trauma its belly, heal back via Citrus Berry, and submit the giant water snake. Or let it escape. Fine. The Thunderbolt Dragonite came out next, which takes a big hit for around 50%. I switched to Manuswine while Lance switched in his second Dragonite. What is bro cooking? An Ice Shot by Recrittle dealt a lot of damage, and in return, Dragon Rush missed. Hell, this is my moment. Lance's full restore goes to waste after Manuswine hit 2 more priority Ice Shots. 2 takedowns later, also defeated Gyarados, and now it was a 4-on-4 battle. Tentacruel tanked the Fire Fang before retaliating with the Hydro Pump, dropping Charizard into place range. It missed an Air Slash, and Tentacruel took the kill via Surf. Dragonite returned, only to be met with an Ice Beam. The definitely not Dragon-type Aerodactyl ended the battle, and tit for tat almost sent the prehistoric flying dinosaur back to Jurassic Park. Another full restore forced to switch back to Recrittle, who fired a few Ice Shots, making Aerodactyl distinct. Dragonite number 3 followed. Why did I give this name? This is way too hard for me to pronounce. Recrittle dodged the Fire Blast, and the big flying dragon went down after another pair of Ice Shots. We beat Lance fair and square, and I'm redeemed. Roll the credits. But stop! Is this really the end? Apparently, Nuzlockers also do the post-game of Heartgold and Soul Silver, those. I must do the same. Lieutenant Surge got steamrolled by a rogue Dawnfawn called Vindictive, and Sabrina stood no chance against the combined powers of Fight Back and Sortie. My first generation Yellow and Krabby Psychic-type Pokemon is better than yours. Aerocar in Celadon City was a bit more of a challenge. The revenge started by taking out Jumpluff, and I underestimated the power of Tangela here, switching in Malevolence. Why? The Nidoking. Being put to sleep, I decided to finally part ways with Raticate. A final endeavor helped my team to face the now almost defeated Tangela. Oh shit, they have full restores too. Unfair. With a couple of ring attacks, Revenge took out the Spaghetti monster. Also, Sortie took out Victreebel by sheer luck. In the end, Revenge won the battle via Poison Fang. The fight against Koga's daughter Janine was much easier. Well, besides losing Requital to a miscalculated poison tick. Once again, the big elephant took care and saved us the Dex badge. Next on was Misty, who was waiting for me in the gym in Cerulean City. Oh wait, right, she was waiting at the Cape. Wait, I thought she was here. Man, I haven't played the post-game of Heartgold since 2012, I think. After doing some forgotten story beats, it was time to face Misty. Even got even with Golduck, Sortie made Starmie's take the next exit and make it up hit his own belly to defeat Quagsire. That would also damage Lapras heavily, giving Avenging the chance to set up some nasty plots and beat the Ice Water type Pokemon as well. We caught Snorlax for some much needed backup and made our way to the Pewter City gym. Besides Omastar, no Pokemon of Brock stood a chance to even make it up, and it took only a little bit longer to take down the Fossil as well. Plainsleet went down faster than you could say Magcargo, and Magmar got beaten by Tentacruel. Rapidash, the jumpy horse, was a big problem though. Eventually, it went on a sushi mission, taking out itself and my poor Hypno with a Flare Blitz. That's okay. The pan-ultimate fight of the run was against Blue, whose lead executor got Mega Horned by Nidoking for one hit. Gyarados intimidated Nidoking, but Fearless even took it out via Thunderbolt. Rhydon went out after a couple of waterfalls but make it up, he shouldn't have chased them, and Pidgeot became the next victim of nasty plotting Slowking. Revenge came out to fly on my champ, and true to myself, I forgot about Stone Edge hitting during fly turns. Fluff. Nidoking picked up the scraps and also beat this giant legendary dog. Finally, we climbed Mount Silver to face our very last challenge, Trident Red. And I don't think I've ever faced him before due to just not knowing about him back then when I was a kid. Because, according to Alpha Red,
long story short, grinding is cringe and cheating is based.
I saved myself time by just avoiding my Pokemon legal amounts of EVs. Nidoking set up a couple of Stealth Rocks while tanking damage from Lightning Ball Pikachu. Avenging came out to put Lapras via Yawn to sleep, so that Retour the Snorlax could get off the superpower. Tentacruel Giga trained wannabe Bowser Blastoise with a lot of attacks, taking almost no damage and healing itself again and again and again. Even Focus Blast didn't make us flinch. Snorlax was next, and it was the perfect job for Make It Up's Prick Break he trained for. But then, Red made the switch to Venusaur, again with a bit of luck, even Psychic Venusaur without going down herself. Bellytram Prick Break was enough to take out Snorlax for good, and only one of Red's Pokemon was left, Charizard. It took a lot of damage from the Stealth Rock led out by Nidoking, which made it an easy job for my own Snorlax to hit the Rock Slide for victory. Phew, this was hard, but I made it! I beat all of Pokémon Heartgold with little to no cheating. Woohoo! Now it's time for the next challenge. Thank you for watching and bye bye.